This is a very exciting time. I'm very happy to be able to share this. I feel very honored to be able to share this with so many people. The art of creating orgasms. It's such a shot in the dark, isn't it? I mean, I looked everywhere to learn this stuff, and I didn't find much. I talked to doctors, I talked to women who are orgasmic, I read books, I experimented with dozens of girls, and it was such a shot in the dark. It was really a frustrating thing to learn because there's so little information out there. I mean, we're talking about people who still argue about whether or not there's a G-spot. So here we go, and here I am today after 18 years of research, getting ready to show you this. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is if the woman does not have a sense of humor, she's probably not ready. And I don't mean to be judgmental here, it's just the fact. Sense of humor is the greatest indication of high self-esteem. And they need to have a certain amount of self-esteem for this to work. Otherwise, there's too much tension and fear-based emotion. If you think about in our society, when I first learned this stuff, and I started talking with people about it, they would get so uptight. And so, why would you want to learn this and that kind of thing, that it became really an overwhelming task. So now I only share these techniques with people who pay me, people that are ready to learn it. And so be very, very careful with who you train to do this. And it all comes back to fear-based emotion. There's so much shame and anger and guilt and money and so much ego-based, judgment-based things that go along with sexuality in our culture, that this is really a great way to heal, to start healing people, is by helping the women to release all this trapped sexual tension in their bodies. So just talk about how I discovered this, just by playing with my girlfriend's cooches and asking them, how does this feel and how does that feel, and then all of a sudden I could get them squirting. It was a real shot in the dark. And then I met a guy named Steve P, who had a whole system based in massage techniques. Now this is the most important piece of the puzzle, is if you don't work out the tension spots in the female body and get the blood flowing properly, get her breathing properly, it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to get her squirting. You'll also notice that a lot of women, when you put your fingers inside them, they tense their muscles and they stop breathing. These women are going to need 12 to 15 massage sessions, and they're going to need other things to help them clear out the fear-based emotions. So if they have a sense of humor, though, that's a good place to start. So let's get started. We're going to be showing you guys Gita with the speculum. We're going to go inside and open her up, and I'm going to explain some of the things that this involves. Hi, welcome back. We're going to be using grapeseed oil, okay, which is very, very cheap, $5 a gallon, and it's probably the world's greatest massage oil. And you can also go inside the cooch, the woman's vagina, with this oil, and it's actually really good for her. This is chelated vitamin E. So I'm going to show you guys with the speculum.
You might want to add in there that afterwards it's like this is like switching gears and you have to pee. So
it's like switching gears, and then they'll go to the bathroom and it'll take 5 to 10 minutes
like
to switch gears into pee mode.
I love you, Stephanie.
I love you too, baby.
You're the best.
Okay, have fun switching gears. We'll see you in a minute.
Bye.
Now, I just wanted to point out here that if you've noticed, it's not just a localized kind of orgasm. If you watch porn, and the women in porn, when they squirt, you will notice that they stop breathing and their bodies go very, very tense. And that's why people think it's pee, because it kind of looks like pee. That when you do the massage stuff and you help them clear out their fears, and you develop a real relationship with someone, you'll start to get the whole body involved in the orgasm. Because it's a real letting go of fear, is what this comes down to. Letting go of shame and guilt and other fear-based emotions. And so this is a full body orgasm where they're shaking and spasming. Shaking like a dog shitting peach pits is what it is. So I just wanted to throw in that piece. Okay, welcome back. I want to talk a little bit about troubleshooting. The first thing that comes to mind is the sense of humor. If it's not there, good luck. If there's too much tension in that woman's body, what you're going to need to do is get my Moving Beyond Approach Anxiety MP3. There's a technique in there that I share that you can use to clear out any fear-based emotion, whether it be guilt, anxiety, shame, anything you can think of. It will clear it out if you do it thoroughly. So that's a really key piece, is getting all those fear-based emotions out of the body and not repressing them. A lot of people, what they do with their emotions is they repress them. That is not, this is about releasing and healing. Another thing that comes to mind is that a lot of women are self-conscious or ashamed of their bodies in one way or another. And so you can use that technique to clear that out. Another thing that really helps for these types of women is to actually blindfold them. If they're visual women that tend to talk really fast, use a lot of visual predicates and things like that, try blindfolding them. They'll stop being self-conscious, and they'll start to get into their body and feel their body. So that's a really key piece that I picked up. Another thing is that a lot of women are afraid that they're going to pee, because what happens is you need to release, if you're a woman, you need to release your PC muscle at the time of orgasm. You need to let it go. And the worst thing that can happen is that you pee. You're not going to pee, but if you think of it like this, what's the big deal? You just clean up the mess when you're done. So, again, if the women insist that they're afraid to pee, you can use the karma clearing technique to help clear out that fear-based emotion. And if they don't want to do it, if they're just insisting that it's pee and stuff like that, then they're not ready, they're not vibrating high enough, that they're not going to learn this. They're not going to be squirting, especially not at the level that you guys have seen with Gia. Okay, so there's a lot of work to be done. The massage sometimes will go to as many as 12 to 15 massage sessions. 12 to 15 two-hour massage sessions for them to start squirting. So one of the ways that you can measure it is if they have a lot of tension in their body, if they overeat or drink or do drugs, this is really going to inhibit this. You must honor your body and take care of it, and you will reap the rewards. One of the first things I look for is the dimples. You want to come here? And you'll see that she has 2 dimples right here. This is a sign. A lot of women have these dimples. This is a sign that she will be very easy to train. She'll be much easier to train than a girl that is flat, because if she's flat here, she's covered up her dimples with stress, tension, and fat. And that means that her blood, it won't be flowing, it will cause lots of problems. So when they have dimples, your job becomes a lot easier. Okay, so these are the squirter dimples. A lot of girls have these. Okay? A lot of women have these, and they tend to be beautiful. They tend to have, hourglass figures. They tend to be healthy. And that's the key to making this work, is health. If the woman is 300 pounds and she's depressed and she overeats, it's going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to train her in the art of squirting and multiple whole body orgasms. Another thing that, for the ones that are afraid to pee, to me it's just funny. But if they're really that afraid to pee and you can't really reassure them, what I've found is anchoring can be very useful for this as well. What I did, in fact, with Gita at the beginning of our relationship is that I went to the bathroom with her. I accompanied her. And do you want to come here?
Yeah.
Sit right here. So imagine she's just sitting on the toilet. I just hold her hand, and at the moment of release, the moment she lets go of the PC muscle and allows herself to start urinating, I anchor it. What that means is I squeeze her hand and I say the words, "Good girl." It doesn't matter what you say. That you can anchor it by squeezing her nose. It doesn't really matter how you do it. This is how I did it. I squeezed her hand and I said, "Good girl." And I did this with her 3 or 4 times. We gave her lots of water, and so she went to the bathroom quite frequently that day. And that's what I did. I anchored. As soon as she released and I could hear the trickle in the toilet, I would go, "Good girl, that's right. Good girl."
And I didn't know.
And I did that over and over again throughout the day. And then later on, when I was stimulating her clitoris and playing with her, I grabbed her hand and I went, "Good girl," and she squirted. So that's a very useful troubleshooting technique for the women that are afraid that they're going to pee. Again, get my MP3 on how to clear out fear-based emotions. You can find it on ideagasms.net. It is $30 well spent, because you can use it to clear out any emotion that gets in the way of this, and there will be many. There will be many. In some cases, there will be too many, and where they won't even want to talk about it. So honor their right, and maybe get a new girlfriend or something. So that's it. That's the troubleshooting section. It's really a simple thing. As long as they're healthy and they have a decent sense of humor, self-esteem, and if they've got the squirter dimples, it means they took care of their body. They don't have very much tension. If you do the massage and you use the fingering technique enough, and you have to have a relationship that has actual trust in it and loyalty. If you guys are out cheating on each other and shaking your ass in the clubs every night, trying to get validation and playing all these power games with each other and all that stuff that most couples do, you're going to need to get that together. You're going to need to get that part of your relationship handled if you expect to take it to this kind of level. This kind of level of squirting is the fruit of unconditional love. It's not just techniques. Another thing for clearing out fear-based emotions and rebalancing and healing the woman's body is chakra cleansing. Go to your local metaphysical health practitioner and learn chakra cleansing. It will change your life. It will start to release and rebalance the energies that are trapped inside a woman's body.
As well as your own.
Do you have anything to add for the troubleshooting?
No,
It's really quite simple.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you have a lot of insecurities about this, talk to your boyfriend or lover.
You're going to need to get that handled.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for choosing Ideagasms.